ABC General Hospital spoilers indicate that Emma's choice to leave Port Charles isn't spur of the moment or just because she's scared. It's really because she's starting to grasp that the danger around Anna is way deeper, more handled, and a lot more thought out than anyone has wanted to admit. When Emma sets out to find Robin, it's clear she's not just a grandchild looking for comfort anymore. It's like she gets that silence itself can be a weapon. When Emma found out Anna was being held, watched, and messed with psychologically, it really shook her up. It made her see that this kind of control isn't limited to just countries or facilities. The scariest part isn't just what's happened to Anna already, but what's still going on hidden in the dark, with unseen forces pulling strings and tweaking things just so. Emma started to get this feeling that Anna's being so vulnerable wasn't just a random thing. It was like it was all part of a bigger plan, a system set up to keep her down and wear her out bit by bit. When you think about it, Emma leaving turns into something way more unsettling than just saying goodbye for a little while. Emma knows she's not heading towards safety as she leaves Port Charles, she's stepping away from it. Emma's journey to Robin is a race against time filled with a terrible sense of dread. She's hunting for answers, but deep down, she knows those answers could uncover dangers she won't be able to escape. She keeps replaying every little thing in her head, and each time it feels more scary. All those guarded explanations, the half-truths, the words she picked so carefully to make her feel better, but really, they just kept so much hidden. Emma's starting to get it. Anna's experience wasn't just a one-off thing, but part of a bigger scheme. It's clear that this whole operation hinges on keeping people alone and messing with their heads, not just locking them up. As Emma started to understand what was really happening, it hit her hard. The idea that she was somehow caught up in it all, even if she didn't want to be, was a real shock to her system. The more she thinks about it, the more she realizes that leaving Port Charles might have been expected. Maybe even planned for, like someone is watching her every move instead of trying to stop her. The scariest thing is really just the idea of something being in control. Emma's starting to get this weird feeling like stuff isn't just happening because of what she does, but it's all kind of gently pushing her in certain directions. She isn't dealing with obvious threats or violence. Instead, her danger comes from this constant pressure, a ton of uncertainty, and that really unsettling feeling that with every step she takes, her choices just get smaller instead of opening up. It might look messy, but this actually makes a lot of sense if you know how it's put together. Emma then understood there was a structure to things which plunged her into an unfamiliar fear, shredding any sense of innocence she had left. She isn't just learning about Anna's danger anymore. She's getting pulled right into it. That inheritance really hit Emma hard, throwing her into feelings she just wasn't ready to handle. To get through it, she might need to keep things quiet, stay away from some people, and make some real sacrifices. Emma's really digging into what Anna found, and the more she learns, the more she gets why going back to Port Charles might not be an option anymore. She's after something, and a scary truth is once she finds what she's looking for, there's no going back. Every new bit of info makes it seem more certain that Emma had to leave the show not just for a little break, but for good. She's facing some pretty explosive stuff. Dangers that are just too ingrained for her to freely bounce between these different worlds. It's just safer for everyone, especially the people she cares about, if she keeps her distance. Emma knows that if she walks away, she might be taking away the power those invisible forces want, even if it means everyone she knows will forget she was ever there. After this, Emma is a totally changed person. It starts with just wanting to figure out what's going on with Anna, why she's hurting. But as you dig deeper, you realize you're up against a whole system that's all about keeping things quiet, taking away people's voices and staying in charge. It really takes a huge toll emotionally. Emma needs to understand that getting answers might mean becoming invisible and to survive. She might just have to disappear before the danger gets too close. When she left Port Charles, it wasn't with a neat ending or a clear path ahead. It was just this heavy feeling that some dangers you just can't fight them straight out, or you'll lose absolutely everything. So Emma decided to leave, heading into a future that's going to have a lot of risks and things she'll find out. But it leaves us wondering, is she just gone for a bit? Or is this really the last time anyone in Port Charles will see her? So the real reason Emma isn't on the show anymore, it's bigger than just her character plot. Sounds like Hospital Bruner is actually leaving General Hospital, and it's happening right when Emma's story is getting really intense. This news really just drops out of nowhere, which is pretty jarring. It's kind of like how Emma just disappears from Port Charles exactly when things are getting really dangerous for her. Family. Word on the street is Brayden's contract is ending sooner than anyone thought, giving viewers the uneasy impression here that Emma's exit isn't just a break in the story. It feels like a deliberate move to amp up the tension and make folks more uncertain. But in Port Charles, when someone's gone, it usually means something, and the timing often matters. You know, what seemed like a simple goodbye at first now feels more like they're just getting out of the way. It's like they had to vanish before things got really crazy. Meanwhile, the show is also going to honor Tristan Rogers. His work as Robert really shaped what an era of spy stories, toughness, and tricky moral choices looked like. That part he focused on what she left behind really made Emma's not being there hit differently. Instead of ending things, the writers seem to be making room for something bigger. It feels like they're going to bring back generations of the Scorpio family in a way that truly feels earned and pretty explosive too. Emma isn't just getting space from Port Charles, she's really changing as a person. She found herself far from home, a long way from her cozy streets and the feeling of being safe. It was then that she truly got how bad things were for Anna, not just being held captive but dealing with mind games, control, and feeling like she was disappearing. When Emma finally gets back with Robin, the story really starts to move past the scary stuff and into what they're going to do. As they talked, mother and daughter slowly started to grasp the whole story of what Anna had gone through. It became clear that when she was taken from Port Charles, it wasn't supposed to be a short thing or something she could even make it through. Emma and Robin realized this together, which really made them feel a powerful urgency and shared purpose. It totally changed their relationship, forging a bond that felt really strong because it was made under pressure. So they decided to get Anna back themselves. It wasn't just about saving her, but about telling those who thought they could decide her future that they were wrong. So Emma takes on a role she's never had before. She's not guarded by how far away she was or by being naive anymore. Now she's right there side by side with the women who brought her up. This is where Emma's storyline truly ignites. When she's not on screen, it actually makes the story more intense because the danger just keeps getting worse in the background. When Emma gets back, assuming she does, she won't be the same person who went away. Facing Anna's trauma, dodging unseen threats, and seeing firsthand how simple it is for people to be quieted really changes everything for her. When she comes back, it won't just be about seeing family again. It's going to be a real showdown, clashing with everything Robert left behind and the truth Anna's bringing to Port Charles. Seeing 3 generations together under fire would send shockwaves through their lives, making those old, hidden secrets finally come out. So it seems like Braden Bruner isn't really leaving, it's more like a planned break. Like a deep breath before something big happens. Emma going missing really cranks things up, so if she ever comes back, or even if we just never know, it just feels so huge. If Emma and Robin are the ones to bring Anna home, everything will change right away. It'll shake up who's friends with who, show us who the real enemies are, and completely redefine Emma's place in Port Charles. This started as a simple contract expiring, but it's about to become one of the most emotional storylines we've seen on the show in ages. Emma's story isn't fading at all. It's getting pulled really tight, stretched thin like it's about to snap. When it does, it's going to come back into focus with a big impact. After Emma left, Port Charles' Geo really started to fall apart in ways he never saw coming. It was like her being gone actually changed something deep inside him. At first it was just a little worry, but it morphed into a fixation. Pretty soon it became this relentless obsession that just wouldn't let go. Geo just couldn't shake the feeling that Emma didn't just leave to get some answers. It felt more like she walked right into a growing situation that was way more dangerous than she even realized. It's like every quiet moment is suddenly too much to handle. My mind just fills up with all these made-up pictures of what she could be going through by herself, and how she might already be really close to the very things that almost ruined Anna. Geo keeps telling himself that Emma picked this path herself, but the more he does, the more he feels like he let her go without even trying to stop her. That guilt really solidified into determination, totally changing how Geo viewed everything. Port Charles just doesn't feel safe or normal anymore. It's like a fake front hiding all these secret moves. Partnerships and dangers right under our noses. Emma leaving changed things, and Geo really had to pay attention. He began seeing things that didn't add up, little bits of info that he'd blown off before. But now they were starting to make a really strange pattern. Names keep coming up whispered carefully or not said at all until they just echo in his head: Sidwell and Cullum. Geo gets the feeling that these guys aren't just small-time bad guys. They're actually at the core of a whole system, designed for control, manipulation, and keeping things quiet. He starts to get it. What happened to Anna wasn't just a one-off thing. It was actually part of a bigger plan that started changing as people pushed back. And it was made to punish anyone who asked questions they shouldn't. Dang, realizing this changes everything and not in a good way. Geo's starting to think that Emma's whole quest, finding Robin and getting to the bottom of Anna's captivity, might have landed her in some serious trouble with folks who really don't like people sticking their noses in. As Geo gets more and more obsessed, he starts to change in ways he couldn't take back. He just doesn't measure risk the way he used to. It feels wrong, actually. It feels immoral to think about my safety when Emma is out there dealing with who knows what. Geo gets that the rules changed, and so did his role. He quietly starts digging. At first just testing the boundaries and then following threads that get him really close to Sidwell and Cullum's shadowy operations. Every new thing he learns just confirms his fear. The danger around Anna isn't gone, it's just changed. When Geo realized that Anna's pain might have been planned made to last longer, and even made worse because of some bigger plan, it really took his breath away. It became clear that helping Emma meant more than just supporting her from a distance. We'd actually need to be really Aegean friends, close to the dangerous stuff she was trying to take apart. Gio knows the deal and accepts the danger, but he's not being reckless about it. His actions are deliberate. He knows getting closer to Sidwell and Cullum means he's open to getting watched hit back at or even wiped out. But he also gets that not knowing something doesn't keep you safe. He learns more and more, and with each new piece of information, he's convinced that these guys are just counting on people doing nothing. They really just rely on fear. It gets people to keep quiet and stay apart. When Gio decides to investigate, he's breaking the usual pattern even if it means he'll become a target. Okay, so it looks like he's made a really big adjustment when it comes to what's important to him now. Love isn't something you can just sit around and wait for things to work out anymore. It's a powerful thing that asks for you to give something up and often face things head on. Gio knows that if he helps Emma rescue Anna, he stands to lose everything he's always known in Port Charles. And he's okay with that. As Gio keeps digging, he starts to feel like his obsession is really messing with his head. He just couldn't sleep. His mind kept racing, thinking about all the what-ifs. Like how to get out of trouble or what might happen if everything went wrong. He gets it now why Emma took off, not knowing if she'd ever come back. Once you gain knowledge, you change. It's impossible to go back to being innocent after truly seeing just how much control has seeped into everyone's lives. Gio's getting worried. He thinks Emma isn't just gone for a little bit, but that her disappearance is part of a plan to keep her safe while danger gets ready again. That fear just pushes him even more. It makes him go quicker, dig way down inside, and say yes to risks he definitely would have said no to before. When Gio decided to get involved, he essentially stepped into that same dangerous situation that had already consumed Anna and made Emma leave. He realizes every move he makes could be watched, and every question he asks might set off something he can't foresee. Still, he keeps going because he really believes Sidwell and Cullum use isolation as their biggest weapon. And the only way to beat them is to create a connection even if it's risky. He became so obsessed with something that it turned into a purpose, and that purpose then pushed him to take action. Gio put himself in harm's way, which just goes to show he wasn't weakened by Emma leaving. If anything, it changed him for the better. He's not just sitting by and watching things happen from far away anymore. He's picking the shadows, going for danger, and opting to be in places Emma can't go. All because he wants to make sure that when it's time to get Anna home, no one has to deal with that darkness by themselves.